What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you know, we're doing a late celebration of the 60th anniversary of Bond. I've ranked all the movies. I did a reaction video when GoldenEye 64 was re-announced for re-release. I judged Pat's Bond ranking, and we've done gadgets. So now we're going to move on to our top 10 favorite Bond vehicles. This one's gonna be fun, I think, because there's so many different vehicles that Bond uses, and I've limited this to only the ones that Bond uses, except my honorable mention, my honorable mention is honestly just a joke. Yeah, these are the one I limited these to ones that either Bond rides or Bond uses.
Mm.
Um, so we're gonna talk about these. Pat, how you doing today?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk about this. I was tempted to film this video in my car, but
You should have.
it's too much of a hassle. Plus, my
Uh,
car is terrible.
so I'm assuming that the DB10 from Spectre does not make your list.
Why would it?
I know it doesn't make mine either. Um,
It's a nice looking car, but that's about it.
it would have had cool gadgets if they were in
It
it.
has a flamethrower, I guess.
So we'll do it how we did it with gadgets where we do 6 through 10 and then 1 through 5, but we'll go in descending order, and I'll let you start off the list again since you are the guest of honor. So what is your number 10?
Uh, so I had a joke one initially as the gondola from Moonraker.
Oh, the boat?
Not the boat in the Amazon. The
No, I
gondola in
know. Yeah,
Venice.
yeah. When he's in like Italy and he's
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
like
That's a joke for me.
I just don't get why MI6 would give him that. Like the fact that that's
I
what
think you'll
MI6
be
is supposed to
surprised.
say.
You'll
Um,
be surprised with me on that.
my real honorable mention is actually the ridiculous iceberg submarine from the beginning of A View to a Kill, where it just looks like an iceberg.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
just
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. What's your
um,
what's your 10 then?
my number 10
Unless
is
you
the
have any other honorable mentions. I don't know if you do. Okay.
my number 10 is the Acrostar jet from the beginning of Octopussy.
Shit, I forgot about that one.
It's pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
it. It's like
it is.
a little personal plane.
Yeah,
I
I
like that it's
meant to put
hiding.
when I was thinking this out like last week, I was like, I gotta put the Acrostar jet from Octopussy on there, and I forgot to. So I'll add that. I'll add that to my honorable mention. That will be my honorable mention since the other one's a joke. But yeah, dude, I love that. Like it's so like just I think it's because he uses it in a mission that's detached from the actual story of Octopussy.
Mhm.
And then like him flying through the hangar where he has to fly it sideways and he just barely escapes. And at the end, feather up, please.
There's just a lot of cool little things with it.
Yeah.
Plus, I like that it's hiding in like a truck, like that supposedly has horses, and there's like a fake horse butt.
Yep, yep, yep. I love that too. It's so good.
um, yeah, I think it's a fun one. My number 9. I'm terrible with cars in general and car names, but I think it's called the Citroen from For Your Eyes Only. The little bug.
The buggy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
just the fact it's used in like such an amazing, like fun action sequence where it's Bond's Lotus gets blown up, so then he has to use this,
Yeah,
and it's just like rolling down hills and flipping
yeah,
over, and it's just fun.
yeah. I'm actually
Um,
gonna switch one out real quick. I'm gonna switch my number 6 out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
my,
Go ahead.
my number 8 is the tank from Goldeneye, which is
Okay.
which
I
is a
got it.
great action sequence. It's just fun to watch Bond smash through things in a tank or blow up a train. Like
Or
it's
fix
just
this tie.
yeah, it's just there's a lot of cool stuff with that one.
Yeah.
My number 7 is a vehicle that gets a lot of flack from some people sometimes. For me, back in the day, I used to kind of be annoyed by it, but now I'm like, whatever. That is the Aston Martin Vanquish slash Vanish. Um, where it's obviously the invisible car, which is kind
Yeah.
of infamous because it is ridiculous, but Die Another Day is a ridiculous movie, so
Yep.
it kind of fits.
Yep.
Um, I like the use of this car. I think it's as stupid as it is that he has an invisible car on snow where
I
they can
know.
see the tracks. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
I do like I think it's a nice looking car. I like the car chase with him and Zhao is one of the best
The,
parts of
the gadgets on the car are pretty cool. I'll say.
gadgets on the car. The
Although,
fact he uses the ejector seat to flip the car over, like that's cool
yeah,
stuff.
the traction, tire traction, and all
Tire
that.
track, yeah, when he dodges down, turns invisible, like that's all. It's a cool car in a bad movie. Okay,
It's got its merits.
it's got its merits, and it's ridiculous, but like I said,
Yeah,
it fits.
yeah.
Um, my number 6 is the Lotus from Spy Who Loved Me,
Okay.
the submarine car. Um, Obviously iconic car, one of the most famous Bond cars. I love the submarine part. I think that whole sequence is amazing. But
Oh, it's great.
from the chase where he's getting attacked by the helicopter to when he dives into the water and they're shooting stuff in the water. There's all like it's
Yeah,
all beautiful down there. And then when they come up onto the beach, it's amazing.
yeah. He just
It's
like
the
lets the
best.
fish go. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
cool car.
All right. Yeah. So I'll admit I had something else in number 6, and I'm switching that out for the Lotus. So that's fair warning that the Lotus is my number 6. So we'll get there in a minute. Um, my number 10 and 9 might surprise you because they're from the same movie. But I actually have honorable mentions. Sorry. So as stated before, I forgot about the Acrostar. So the Acrostar is going to make my honorable mention. We both already kind of talked about that. The other honorable mention, which I think is an underrated vehicle, is the bobsled from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's not flashy or anything. That was my number 6. But the reason I switched it out with the Lotus is because I was like, Lotus is more iconic. But the thing with the bobsled is it's not flashy, but it occupies like that space in the movie where it seems like the action is trying to one up itself and it succeeds in that. Where it's like you have the ski chase, and that's pretty cool. And then you have Bond jumping out of the helicopter at Piz Gloria, sliding across the ice. It's like, that's even cooler than the ski chase. And it's like, no, we're going to one up that, and we're going to have a bobsled chase. And that's the coolest out of all those 3. And I always love it when Bond movies do something completely different like that. Like, when am I going to get another bobsled chase in a Bond movie, you know?
Spectre had a chance.
Yeah. So that's an honorable mention. My other honorable mention is a joke. I had to throw this in here for you. The Buzzsaw Chopper from it's a
count. He never drove it.
Listen, the Azerbaijan government needed those trees trimmed, okay? No, but that one doesn't count because Bond doesn't even use that.
He never would.
But yeah, so that one was the joke. But my number 9 and 10 might surprise you, as I said, because they're from the same movie. But my number 10 is the hovercraft from Die Another Day.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this is a cool vehicle. Maybe not used in the best ways, but like somehow Bond finds like a bulletproof vest on there and holds it up. Colonel Moon has like detachable flamethrowers and all that. Like you could just ride over fire and all that stuff. And when they go flying through the air, like I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I'm entertained by that. That entire sequence is probably one of the best sequences of that movie. Anyway,
Oh, for sure.
yeah. Number 9 is a car I used to hate so much, and it's the Aston Martin Vanquish that we call the Vanish. I thought about it, and I was like, you know, for all its ridiculousness, I feel like it's too iconic not to include on this list.
Right.
Because it's so ridiculous, you know. Like we said, like the ejector seat, like Bond using it to flip himself back over. Like the missiles, he has missiles on it, right?
Oh yeah, he does. And
Yeah.
and he has the like 2 cannons too that shoot like
Yeah, he has those things too. That like shoot out of the headlights, like that, like can like pierce a car or something. No pun intended to Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what because doesn't he do that to Zhao, and that's what makes Zhao like going, or he tries to do it to Zhao or something, or no, Zhao has it, I think.
No, I mean that Zhao's car had a bunch of weapons too.
Which made no sense.
Listen, Gustav Graves likes cars, I guess.
My number 8. So I think you said this was your honorable mention. That was the joke, but the gondola boat from Moonraker. I like I can say what I want about Moonraker, but
Pigeon double take.
But when it gets like that cheesy, that's when it's fun, honestly. And like it just comes out of nowhere because there's that random guy who's like sitting in like the gondola in like a casket, and he pops up and he like shoots him, and then Bond all of a sudden just opens up like a little cartridge. He just floors it. I love that chase. That chase is so good. Um, my number seven is the car in Paris in A View to a Kill that Bond drives.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
gets like hit in half.
yeah, it gets
Yeah.
like hit in half and then gets hit in like a third, and Bond's still able to drive it. Just the fact that like it's still like in working functional mode after that is amazing. And then six is what I switched out because I had the bobsled there originally, but I switched that out for the Lotus Spirit. Just what you said, like that action scene, the build up to like him going into the water and then coming out of the water, like him just rolling down the window and dropping the fish in front of the person who's just like, what the fuck is going on? It's such a classic car, and they brought it back for Your Eyes Only. And I'm like, you have to at that point. It's so cool. A car that becomes a submarine is awesome to me.
I just love in For Your Eyes Only that like the defense of like someone trying to break in is to just self-destruct. It's like the guy like hits the window and it immediately like like jeez.
All right, so
Uh,
yeah, what's your five through one?
my number five is Little Nelly from You Only Live Twice, the gyrocopter. Is that yours as well?
Yep,
It's just cool. It's like a personal little gyrocopter that gets put together. The whole action sequence when he's like
it's
in the
awesome.
air. I know
It's
it's got
awesome.
the Bond
People
music.
give it so
It's
much
great.
shit. I'm like, that's like one of the coolest Bond action scenes.
I agree. It's
Yep.
awesome. My number four is the Q boat from The World Is Not Enough. Which is cool. It reminds me of like the Bat boat or something. It's like a like a
Yeah.
it's like a little personal boat. It's involved in one of the best pre-title sequences. I like that it can like go underwater, it can shoot torpedoes. It's got a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's cool. I've always liked it. I've always liked that sequence. It's a shame I don't like the rest of the movie more, but you know,
How dare you? You're gonna hate my placement for that.
you put it at number one, you bastard. I'm sure you did.
You'll
Um,
see.
my number three is the Aston Martin DB5, the iconic Bond vehicle
Yeah.
that everyone loves and everyone uses
I
all the
already know there's gonna be people being like, that should be number one.
it's the most iconic and the most famous. I
It
don't
just got
deny that.
overused after a while.
Yeah, I like it. I just it's not my personal favorite one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I mean it's a classic.
Yep.
My number two is the BMW 750 IL from Tomorrow Never Dies. Do you want to know why? It's not even because it's controlled by a remote, which is amazing, and it's part of one of the best action sequences in all of Bond. But also, it's because it doesn't look fancy. It doesn't look notable. It looks like a dad car, and that's what a spy should use. A spy should use something that's not noticeable and conspicuous. It blends in. It looks like a normal car. I also love the fact that all Stampers guys try to break into it, and no matter how many times they hit it, they can't. It's got a bunch of awesome gadgets. It's controlled by Bond in the back seat. It's amazing. It's a cool car. It's got a woman's voice that talks to him. It's cool. It's a great car.
Didn't
Uh,
make the moves.
that's ridiculous, dude. You're a Tomorrow Never Dies hater who can't see hatred. My number one is my favorite all-time Bond vehicle, which is my favorite Bond car, the V8 Vantage from
Okay.
The Living Daylights,
All right.
which is to me the Batmobile of Bond cars. It looks like the Batmobile. It's got a turbine in the back.
Like a muscle
It's got,
car.
it's like a muscle car. It's got skis that pop out of the side.
Missiles.
It's amazing. It's an awesome car. I want one. So bad.
Lasers.
Lasers. It's amazing.
Yep.
Salt corrosion.
So my number five, I think you already know because we both agreed on it. Little Nelly. I think it's an overlooked vehicle. I think a lot of people, when they talk about it, give it too much hate because they're like, "Oh, You Only Live Twice" is a little too silly, and that action scene is just a little too silly. I'm like, come on, it's Little Nelly, like Bond in a little chopper fighting off big choppers. It's amazing. My number four, the Aston Martin DB5. I love how it's evolved over the years, where you get different gadgets, like you have the smoke screen and like the smoke screen shield I'm talking about, not like the smoke from No Time to Die, but like the smokescreen shield from Goldfinger. It's iconic, but I think why it's not in the top 3 where it probably should be is because in the Craig era it got overused a little bit. I think it was used perfectly in Casino Royale, Skyfall, and No Time to Die. It didn't overstay its welcome in No Time to Die, but there was no need to bring it back in Spectre, honestly, at the end. And I just, but even then, in No Time to Die, I just got kind of sick of seeing it. You know, I was like, we need a break from this car. But it is an
Like
iconic.
BB-10.
but but it is an iconic car. I love it. Like, there's no denying that it is like the one that like defines Bond. My number 3 is personally my favorite car as well, and it's your favorite car as well, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. I think this one has the coolest gadgets. I think those gadgets are used in the coolest ways. It's also got the coolest look to a Bond car. So that's my favorite. Number 2 is the tank from GoldenEye.
Wow, number
Yeah,
2.
I love it. I love that. I mean, I knew I had to put it up high doing this list. Just like watching like Oliver Romov's guys like in the Jeeps just like reversing and trying to shoot the tank, like, and Bond's just like in the like just like continues driving at them. He's running over cars. They're going into the water. They're blowing up. Like he runs through a soda truck and all the soda cans are going like just the little antics, like when he's just destroying St. Petersburg in Russia, puts a smile on my face, especially with what's happening now in the world. And then number 1 is gonna piss you off because it is the Q-boat. I love the Q-boat. It goes shooting out of there, the torpedoes, the fact that Bond takes the time to go underwater and adjust his tie. It's amazing. And then he drives it on land, beeping that horn. It's one of my favorite vehicles. It's just got this little cool like look to it too, and it's just speeding along the River Thames. I want that boat. It's been my dream boat ever since because it's so cool. I love it. Yeah, I knew that would piss you off.
It makes me more mad that the Toronto Task car isn't on the list.
Uh,
But
I
you
think,
put
I
the
think,
gondola.
well, because I think with that one, like, I think with that one,
It's in Tomorrow Never Dies, Alex. You can say you can be
no,
like
no,
it's in
no, no,
Tomorrow
no.
Never
I think
Dies.
I think with that one, I was thinking more of like the gadgets. Like I was thinking of like, oh, I'm not gonna put it on the gadgets list because it's like when I think of that car, I just think of the gadgets, you know. But like we weren't using the cars for the gadgets list, you know. So I think I think I just totally forgot about it, honestly. Plus two, it's a BMW. They replaced Aston Martin. Fuck them. But those are our list of the top 10 Bond vehicles. Pat, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at this Pat guy and my YouTube channel Agamotto, and eventually Alex and I's big news.
Yes. Eventually, you can find me at my official website, alexmaddenmovies.mystrikinglead.com. All my social media links are there. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. I'm Alex. That's Pat. We'll see you at the movies somewhere, and we'll be back with more Bond content soon with guests as well.